just kind of the totality of the season. This is something that a lot of people thought with getting rid of Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs were not going to have. It's a scary offensive team anymore. And we saw yesterday against 49ers that, that's not the case. But this is that stood out to me. So you think, Tyreek Hill would be less explosive. So through the first 7 weeks of the season, the Chiefs have 37 plays that go for more than 20 yards. In comparison to last year, you had 23 plays at this point in time of the season that went for more than 20 yards. So my question to you is the question everyone's been asking. The whole season everyone said the Chiefs were not going to be as explosive anymore, but now we actually have a sample size. So based on what you saw yesterday, do you think this team is this offense is scarier than we've seen in years past?
I'm going to say yes for the simple fact of there was more than one guy going for more than 20 yards yesterday. I don't know the guys' names, but the one deep ball that Patrick threw, the receiver ran a really nice route and got Tafarius Ward to bite just kind of on a little step out move and ran right by him, and Patrick hit that one. Jumps out at me, and then the screenplay, like you said earlier, on third and whatever it was, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 20. I think it was a screen.
Yeah, it was a screen at 3rd and 20. Yeah, where McKinnon blocked.
So I mean that one stands out to me. And then there was a, maybe didn't get 20, but there was a fly sweep that came toward the Chiefs sideline that went for a fair number. I don't remember if it was 20 plus, but so point being that there seems like there are numerous guys that are doing it, not just Tyreek.
And also,
I mean, they had to have at least a handful of those yesterday.
Yeah. And the one thing, you can speak to this as a quarterback, they have the too high shell, which kind of dominated us last year, where we won the big play. We couldn't get the big play, and then it was forcing us to drive downfield these 10, 12-play drive. That's why we had 23 plays of 20 yards at this point last year, because teams were just making us drive. Are you seeing that defense Mahomes having to play against that last year so much that's made him a better quarterback, and also having kind of a more weapons?
I mean, I can't say I know that the 49ers played a lot of cover 2 yesterday. I mean, people just play a lot more cover 2 again. They played a lot of cover 2 in my era. They're playing it a lot more just because of what you said, trying to cut down on the big plays. I just think that I just think Mahomes, he had time yesterday and was able to find his open receiver. Unfortunately for Jimmy G, he got sacked 5 times and was seemed to be looking for the open guy and wasn't getting the time.
Yeah. That was encouraging for all the Chief fans out there who have been concerned about our pass rush. I still think we need to get another edge rusher, but I mean, it looked good yesterday.
They did. They looked good. Like I said in the very beginning, that they were the better team yesterday.
So it's not many times we get to speak to someone who had a receiver like Jerry Rice. When in '91, where you started 6 games with San Francisco, you went 5-1. I believe Jerry Rice had 80 catches that year. And then fast forward to '95, where you made the Pro Bowl with the Chiefs, and you had guys like Lake Dawson, Webster Schlatter, Willie Davis, getting bigger. Based on my research,
JJ,
and that season they each had those 3 guys in particular had about 75 targets each, just targets. And I think might have been one of the leading receivers was Kim Landers on that team as well.
I would believe that. I mean, that's just the way that version of the West Coast offense was. I mean, even going back to the beginning of, Tom Rathman in 1989 had, I think, 75 catches. Just because he's as the fullback position, and Tom was a super smart player. He was always in the right spot for the check down. As I'm sure, I don't remember how many catches Kimball had in 95, but I'm sure it was over 50. That's my guess. I have no idea.
I can pull up the number, but yeah, it was surprising to see how big of a deal he had in that offense.
Yeah, and going back to your comparison of 91 when I played here with Jury. I mean, you had Jury, you had John Taylor, we had Brent Jones at tight end, we had Roger Craig and Tom Rothman in the backfield. So, I mean, we had Mike Sherrard as probably the third receiver. I mean, we had lots of weapons. We had Wesley Walls, who hadn't even really started to blossom yet. So, and then Kansas City. I mean, yeah, you mentioned all the receivers. We had Marcus, we had Kimball, we had Keith Cash, we had drawing a blank on Derek, other tight end, drawing a blank on his last name. So, we in 95 we had lots of weapons.
Would you say for a quarterback that's not easier, but when you have because obviously having Jerry Rice makes everything easier, right? But would you say having a kind of a team where you have a bunch of different guys who you don't know who's going to be the blow up guy that week versus when you have in San Francisco when you did have Jerry Rice? Is it easier for a quarterback? Does it make life easier? Absolutely.
And I was going to go back to my point of that I've been talking about the Chiefs game from yesterday. The position that played the best offensive line, our offensive line in 90 was spectacular. I mean, I think I only got sacked 10 times. I mean, wow. They were really good, really good. And so when you can run the ball and you have time to throw the ball and you have those weapons, life's pretty easy.
Yeah, it looked like it yesterday. I know a lot of Chiefs fans are pissed off after the Buffalo Bills game, even though it was it was a loss 24-20, but it wasn't. We didn't get blown out of Arrowhead, which a lot of Chiefs fans wanted to sell the farm after that game, which I don't get.
Buffalo's pretty good as well, and they have a quarterback that's pretty damn good also.
Yeah. Yeah. People forget, it's not only Mahomes in this league. There's other guys like Josh Allen out there. So we are going to have tough games when you play.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Mahomes and no disrespect to the older, I guess I should say it this way: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert in San Diego. I mean, that's like the top of the class of the kind of that. I'm gonna call them the next generation. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, their record speaks for itself. Russell Wilson. I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but I would say those three guys that I mentioned first are, it's kind of the cream of the crop of the next generation.
Yeah, that's where it's heading with those three.
Yeah.
And then you could also throw Joe Burrow in there as well.
No question. I would absolutely put him in that conversation. Yeah, I think he's good.
NFL's in a good place with those four guys up and coming.
Yeah, yeah. It's good. It's good for the game.
Yeah, 100%. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.